On the morning of October the 7th, 2023, Hamas terrorists launched a brutal attack on Israel. They didn't focus on the Israeli army installations, though. They attacked, they raped, they murdered, and they kidnapped innocent people. Not to mention what happened to the children. This included Jewish refugees who fled the war in Ukraine and Jews who escaped their countries to come to Israel after the Second World War. Hamas didn't discriminate. They brutally attacked those young people at a music festival, Thai, Nepalese, migrant workers and Christian and Muslim Arabs. Who, as writer Lee Yaron put it, and I quote, had the gall to live among Jews as fellow citizens, end quote. On the 9th of October, pro-Palestinian protesters marched to the Opera House steps in Sydney. The Opera House was lit up in white and blue, as was Parliament House. At this stage, Israel hadn't even responded to Hamas's declaration of war. The crowd, these un-Australians I refer to them as gutter trash, waved anti-Semitic banners and flags and chanted F the Jews and F Israel. As the Premier of New South Wales said the next day, and I quote, to have some people celebrate atrocious, indiscriminate killing and kidnapping in Israel is appalling, end quote. Jew haters across the globe wasted no time calling into question the truth of what happened. They questioned the rape, the murders, the torture and the taking of hostages, of which 97 remain in tunnels under Gaza to this day. In Australia, Jewish schools advised mums and dads not to put their children in school uniform. Jewish parents told their children not to admit they were Jewish. Swastikas were painted on Jewish businesses and on the streets of Jewish communities. 600 Jewish Australians had their private details leaked and put on the internet. Jewish university students started to report that they felt unsafe on their own campuses as more and more of them had to walk past pro-Palestinian rallies chanting hateful anti-Semitic slogans and calling for the death of all Jews. In this country, and we saw the hard left and the Greens use the events of October 7th to justify their anti-Israel views, shifting the blame for the massacre from the victims to the perpetrators. Instead of listening to calls from our security services to avoid divisive language, some in this place and the other, mainly the Greens, did everything they could to whip up division and hate. I have been increasingly horrified by anti-Semitism in this country. And like the Australian Human Rights Commissioner, I ask myself, how could this possibly be happening on our own home soil? It was such and is such shameful behaviour. It makes me feel ashamed of my own country, and it makes me angry, and at the same time it makes me terribly sad. Attacking the Jewish community, painting hateful symbols on our war memorials, attacking electorate officers is not going to bring the terrible suffering of Israelis and Palestinians to an end. I ask that all Australians call out the hate speech, anti-Semitism and Islamophobia wherever you see it. Finally, I would like to wish all Jewish Australians a Happy New Year. At this time, we must remember the victims and the hostages and the amazing resilience that your Jewish community has in the face of unimaginable adversity. I will be lighting a Yorkside candle on October the 7th, and I encourage all Australians to show their love, their support and their appreciation of the Jewish community.